welcome to Space Vidcast, episode 9. There, you can't do
9.
it. Yeah, that's first time. Well, you're gonna get the next one, but that's gonna be the last time that works. Are you gonna do 11? I'm not sure. Oh, like this. My name is Benjamin Higginbotham. With me is the beautiful, talented, and wonderful Cariann Higginbotham. We are the Space Vidcasters. I'm the space geek. I do not work for NASA, Virgin Galactic, or any other space organization. I just think this is fun and cool stuff. You, on the other hand,
I work for NASA, Virgin Atlantic, all of them.
No, you're not the huge space geek. I'm trying to turn you into a space geek. You're kind of average American, as I would put it, and I'm trying to convince you and help you understand why space travel and space flight and getting back to the moon and onto Mars is the future of humanity and why we absolutely, positively must do it.
Yes.
So we're working on that, and I'm hoping to convince you of the same thing. Today's show is going to be amazingly, super duper, awesomely cool. First, we've got Blair Allen from NASA Edge. He's going to be coming up in the back end of the show. An amazing podcast, actually one of the premier podcasts or video casts, or they call it a vodcast, I believe, for space travel and all things NASA. It's a lot of fun. It's a great show if you haven't seen it. It's NASA Edge, so we'll be talking to him a little bit later on. We've also got a couple new segments going on today. We've got one of the users in the chat room, Starbucks Lava, it has submitted a news article in video format.
Yes.
And we're going to be rolling that in.
Awesome.
I know. I'm all excited. I'm all giddy. I got like goosebumps and stuff. Yeah, I know. It's going to be kind of cool. So why don't we actually start with your space news first, and then we'll go on to that news.
My space news first.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So what I've got here is I actually found a video. It's all CG, so I apologize for that. But as you know, we have not been to Mars yet. So obviously this is CG. But I found a video where you can fly through the biggest valley on Mars.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't even really know how to explain, but it's almost like a CG version of like going down into the Grand Canyon, but on a completely different planet. So I don't know. I thought that was really kind of cool. I guess this came up a couple of years ago from NASA, but I personally am just seeing this now. So I apologize if this is all old hat to some of you guys out there. But it's of Mariner Valley. And it's just amazing. And unfortunately, I didn't actually grab the URL of the video itself. I grabbed the URL of the story that points to the video. But it does have a link. It does have a link. So you can go ahead and hit the video from there. But it's just interesting. It's kind of like a peek at what we may or may not see with the Phoenix.
Yep.
That's why I thought that was really kind of...
And we'll be talking about what the Phoenix is and kind of how cool that is in a moment. So let's move on to your next article. See, I'm looking over her shoulder to see what her next news item is going to be. Then I'm going to, unlike last week, check this out. Ready for this? We have visuals.
Pictures. Awesome. Apparently, we're going to the sun. I almost said the moon.
I don't think we can walk on the sun.
You guys. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Okay, so my understanding is that there's a NASA solar probe. It's an unmanned spacecraft, of course, scheduled to launch around 2015, and it's supposed to answer some quote-unquote burning questions that we have about the sun. Hey, I didn't write that article. I am just quoting what it says.
Starbucks says she needs a good tan.
Yeah, don't we all? And obviously the reason it's unmanned is because we don't want to expose anyone to that kind of radiation, UV exposure, blah, blah, blah.
Or fire.
What? Fire? Fire's cool! Everybody likes fire.
I don't think we can land humans on the sun.
We're not landing.
Just a thought.
Yes. So anyway, the project is $750 million that will be able to withstand the inconceivably high temperatures of 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit. Anyhow, so there's some more fun stuff about that. I won't bore you guys because I know you love it when I just read right off the page.
And your last one, this is kind of... Wait, hang on. Visual.
Actually, I have 2 more.
Wait, no, I only have links for 1 more. Do this one next.
I know. Well, the other one really doesn't have a picture, so it's
okay,
you should be good. And the reason I added a 4th one is because this one is so short. Really, all it is, hey, guess what? You'll be able to see the ISS.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yes, no, it is. Don't get me wrong, but I really don't have much else to say about it other than, hey, guess what? You'll be able to see it. My understanding is that through Friday, you will be able to see the ISS. So it's the rare glimpse for stargazers across the country as it orbits Earth.
Do you need a telescope, or can you just see with the visible eye?
You know, funny enough, my article does not even tell me that. even.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you can see it.
Someone in the chat room, if all right, Starbucks says
That's my understanding.
visible eye.
Thank
Fantastic.
you guys.
So where do you need to? Someone in the chat room, where do you need to look in the sky? Is it like near the moon, or is it? I think actually near the moon we've got Jupiter showing up soon as well.
I would look up.
Up at the sky?
Yeah.
Great. That's fantastic. And what's your last news story?
All right, my last news story that I just found a few moments ago. So we will almost dare to call this breaking news, if you will. Indonesia is actually launching a rocket into space.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is this their first?
It is. It's the first step in a program designed to make Indonesia less dependent on other nations in their aeronautic field. Yeah. Apparently, they've been using pretty much everybody else's stuff.
Okay.
Which I didn't know. But one of the reasons that that's a big deal is because the nations in Asia, in general, are all kind of in the middle of this huge regional space race of sorts. Koreans just launched their first astronaut. Indians are getting ready to build their own crew capsule to put astronauts into space. China obviously has sent a space probe to the moon. Japan's done it. Later this year, China is going to have their own spacewalk from their own spacecraft. Right. So this is kind of a big deal that, not that Indonesia's tiny, but comparatively...
Well, I'm going to soapbox for a moment, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
And this is where, we've got all of these different countries that are starting to get up into space. And we've, ever since Apollo 11, if you take into account inflation, we haven't really been giving NASA the same funding that we used to give them with the Apollo 11 era. And so we've got all these other countries that are going to start to rapidly catch up with this. Yeah. And we've got this fantastic brain trust sitting at NASA. I don't want that to scatter.
No.
Right? I mean, we need to keep it consolidated. Just so that we have all these really smart people in one location. So I'm of the opinion we need to start throwing more money at NASA. Let's go back to the moon. Let's get back to Mars. And, the 2015, 2020, 2030 timelines, no, let's accelerate those timelines. Let's get there faster. Let's get people excited about this stuff again. I mean, that's why we're here. We're here to get people excited about going back to the moon, going on to Mars. And it's not just NASA.
No.
I mean, it's anybody.
Let's get us all there.
But this is a tipping point for our space program because... especially in this upcoming election, because we're losing the space shuttle in 2010. We're retiring the space shuttle, and we're moving to the Constellation program in 2015. And whoever's elected president will set the direction of NASA. And some candidates want to delay the Constellation program by 5 years. Others a little wishy-washy. So I think it's important, and I'm not telling you to vote for anything like that. I'm just saying it's important to contact your government officials and let them know how important space travel is to you and explain to them exactly like we're explaining to you why humans must explore other planetary bodies. We have to get off this planet or we're doomed.
The other one of the other many good things that is coming out of this, besides other people, getting out there and doing this stuff, I think, is that it is putting a little bit more pressure on the U.S.,
Yeah,
we're not in a Cold War anymore. We don't have all those other people kind of like nipping at our heels, or rather, we do have more people now nipping at our heels, and I think that's going to be a huge motivation for us to kind of, maybe come together for once and get the stuff done.
So one of the things that we've got coming up in 2 weeks, STS-124, that's the Space Transportation System, aka the Space Shuttle, will be launching from the Cape, and we've got a little bit of news on that from one of our members, Starbucks Lover, so let's take a look at that now.
Space Shuttle Discovery is scheduled for launch on May 31st. We will have a live broadcast of that launch starting at 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time. STS-124 will carry the JAXA Station Laboratory, otherwise known as Kibo. Greg Chamitoff will replace the Expedition 1617 flight engineer Garrett Reisman and remain aboard the station as member of the Expedition 17 crew. Reisman will return to Earth with the STS-124 crew after a successful 82 days aboard the International Space Station. A new Progress cargo carrier docked to the Earth-facing port of the International Space Station on May 16th, with more than 2.3 tons of fuel, oxygen, air, water, propellant, and other supplies and equipment aboard. Progress 29 launched from the Buccaneer Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan on Wednesday, May 14th. It replaces a trash-filled P-28, which was undocked on April 7th and destroyed on re-entry. Once Expedition 17 crew members have unloaded the cargo, Progress 29 will be filled with trash and station discards, and it will be undocked from the station and, like its predecessors, deorbited to burn in the Earth's atmosphere.
Awesome.